Namaste yogis, and thanks for joining me for today's Get Well yoga practice, designed for when you're feeling run down or under the weather. In this class, we'll focus on aiding our recovery by nurturing the body's natural immune defenses and working towards alleviating any aches, pains or tension. So when you're ready, grab a block if you have one handy, come join me on the mat and let's begin. We'll start today's practice coming into a child's pose. Bring our big toes to touch, bring our knees together, sending our hips towards our heels as we rest our forehead down onto the mat and extend our arms alongside the body, palms facing up. Resting into your child's pose and beginning to notice how you feel. Noticing down through the body, any areas of tension or congestion. Noticing where you're holding tight. And begin to notice the breath. Breathing in whatever way is comfortable for you today. We'll just try to find more depth with each breath. And we'll gently come up out of our child's pose, bring your hands back down on the mat as we bring ourselves into a tabletop. We'll set ourselves up into our first downward facing dog by tucking our toes under, lifting our knees off the mat, sending our hips high. We'll begin to pedal out through the legs as we stretch out through the body, relieving some of that tension, some of that stress that we've built up. And then when you're ready, we're going to make our way towards the top of our mat as we walk up into a forward fold. Nice and slowly, nice and gently, walking one foot in front of the other. We keep our feet about hip-width distance apart, knees as deeply bent as you need, and we relax our upper body over our legs. Forward folds really help to invigorate the nervous system and improve our blood flow, which can help to relieve congestion. So we'll hold in our forward fold and breathe. Finding more depth on the inhale and more length on the exhale. Relaxing through the body, shoulders, head and neck. We'll gently release out of our forward fold. We'll begin to bend into our knees as we drop our hips towards our heels, making our way back down onto our mat. We're going to come back down onto our backs, resting down. Walk our feet in line under our knees. We're going to pick up our hips and make our way into a supported bridge pose. So you can rest your block in line under the hips at any level that's comfortable for you today. We'll extend our arms alongside the body. Rest the palms down, shoulders hang heavy, and begin to relax and sink into your bridge pose. Our bridge pose is a wonderful chest opener. It can help to alleviate the thymus gland and support our immune system. Breathing deeply and exhaling fully. Relaxing through the muscles. Soften through the body. And we'll begin to come out of our bridge pose by coming high up onto the toes, lift our hips off the block and release the block off to one side and sink the hips back down onto the mat. From here, we're going to make our way into fish pose. So we'll walk the hands in line under the hips. We'll begin to extend our legs long as we pick our head up away from the mat and rest down onto the crown of the head. So we're finding a nice lift through the chest as the upper back peels away from the mat. Coming into our fish pose. Wonderful for opening our throat chakra, which can really feel blocked and constricted when we're suffering from any illness like a cold or a flu. And staying with our breath, filling our lungs full of air, and releasing any old stale air back out through the body. And we'll gently release out of our fish pose, bring the head back down onto the mat, and we'll slide our hands back out from under the body. We'll plant our feet back onto our mat, taking hold of our block once again. From here, we're going to bring ourselves into supported Supta Baddha Konasana. So we'll place our block in line under our shoulders. Gently lying back down onto the mat, rest the head back down. We'll bring the soles of our feet to touch and drop our knees heavy. You can bring our arms up and overhead, maybe taking hold of opposite elbow if that feels comfortable for you today. And when you're set up, when you're in your pose, begin to relax and release. Opening the full front of the body, our chest, our hips, our shoulders. This pose is so great for relieving any sinus pressure built up. Allowing your breath to flow naturally down through the body. Find ease and comfort through the muscles. And we'll come back out of the pose, slide the arms down along the body. We'll gently draw our knees back together. Lifting ourselves away from the block, we'll just place it off to one side and make our way back down onto the mat. Draw your knees one at a time in towards your chest, and we'll fully embrace the legs by wrapping our arms around our legs, maybe taking hold of opposite elbow. Drawing your nose up towards your knees, getting a nice stretch up towards the spine. And we'll release the head back down towards the mat. And we'll release the feet down as well. And from here, we're going to take a twist. So we'll bring our arms into cactus, bend at the elbows, palms facing up. We'll drop our knees over to the right as we bring the gaze over to the left. Maybe closing off the eyes, or bringing a soft gaze to keep your awareness inwards. Twisting from the belly, and relaxing down through the muscles. Relaxing the muscles in your face. And we'll gently release. Bring the knees back to center, drop the knees over to the left as you bring the gaze over to the right. Beginning to relax the muscles in the upper body, into the chest and the shoulders, down to the belly. And we'll bring our knees back up to center, and from here we'll make our way into our Savasana. We'll bring our hands together, we'll rest our hands up towards our third eye, and this is where we'll close our practice I hope you're feeling a little bit better. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.